lines of latitude and lines of longitude. In this chapter, we will learn about lines of longitude, lines of longitude, locating places on globe, and do MCQs, true or false, fill in the blanks, WH questions, do map work and activities. In early times, we did not have address system for locating cities or villages. Then people used to locate places on the basis of idea or guess. Today, we can locate a place in a city or a village by using its address. The address generally includes the house number, the name of the street or road, and the name of the city and state. Similarly, a globe shows us many places and we see many places on the maps too. But do you know how to locate these places on the earth or how you can reach these places? The earth is like a sphere. It does not have a top or bottom or side we can use as a starting point. The earth rotates on its axis. The endpoints of the axis are fixed. These two endpoints can be used as starting points on the earth or on the globe. These endpoints are called the North Pole and the South Pole. We can draw circles on the globe between the North Pole and the South Pole at equal distance from each other. They are called the lines of latitudes or parallels. We can also draw semicircles joining the North Pole and the South Pole. These lines running from north to south are called the lines of longitudes or meridians. The parallels and meridians cut each other at right angles. Lines of latitude. There is an imaginary line drawn halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole. It is called the equator. The equator divides the world into the halves or hemispheres, called the Northern Hemisphere or the Southern Hemispheres. The part from the North Pole to the equator is called the Northern Hemisphere. The part from the South Pole to the equator is called the Southern Hemisphere. The imaginary lines drawn parallel to the equator are called lines of latitude. These lines are given numbers starting with the equator, which is at 0 degree. The number of all the other lines are followed by N or S. The letters N or S tells us whether the line is in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere. Thus, the North Pole and the South Pole are 90 degree north and 90 degrees south respectively. If one draws parallels at an interval of 1 degree from North Pole to South Pole, the total number of parallels including the equator will be 181. There are many parallels which are considered important on the globe. 7 of them are as under. 1. North Pole, 90 degree north. 2. Arctic Circle, 66.5 degree north. 3. Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north. 4. Equator, 0 degree. 5. Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south. 6. Antarctic Circle, 66.5 degrees south. 7. South Pole, 90 degrees south. Did you know The first person to reach the North Pole was Robert Edwin Peary from United States of America on 6 April 1909. Properties of latitude. 1. The parallels are drawn at equal distance from each other. 2. The parallels are complete circles except the poles, which are points. 3. The longest parallel is the equator. 4. The length of other parallels decreases when we go from equator towards the poles. 5. The equator is a great circle while others are small circles. Lines of longitude. Besides the latitudes, we see another set of lines which run from north to south on the globe. These are called as lines of longitude or meridians. The word meridian means midday, and hence a meridian of longitude joins places that have midday at the same time. The lines of longitudes are the same in length. Just as the latitudes are numbered, so as the longitudes. The longitude that passes through the observatory at Greenwich near London is the prime or main meridian. This is also called the Greenwich meridian. It is numbered 0° and all the other longitudes are numbered starting with the 0° of the prime meridian and are followed by east or west. This prime meridian divides the world into two hemispheres. The area between 0° and 180° east is called the eastern hemisphere, while the area between 0° and 180° west is called the western hemisphere. We should always remember that 180° west and east is the same latitude and is called the international dateline. Properties of longitudes. 1. The longitudes do not run parallel to each other but meet at the two ends. 2. The longitudes are the farthest apart at the equator and gradually the gap between them decreases as we move towards the poles where the longitudes meet. Locating places on globe. The network of lines of latitudes and longitudes on the globe is called the grid or the graticule. We can locate all places on the Earth's surface with the help of the grid. To locate a place, we need to know both the latitude and longitude of a place. For example, the location of Kolkata is 23° north, 87° east, which means Kolkata is located on a globe where 23° north latitude and 87° east longitude cross each other. Similarly, we can locate countries, states, cities, towns, mountains, and rivers. International dateline. Longitudes help us to calculate the time of a place. We know that the Earth takes about 24 hours or 1440 minutes to complete one rotation. Since in one rotation 36 degrees are covered, 1 degree will be covered in 4 minutes. In other words, the Earth takes 4 minutes 1440 divided by 360 to rotate 1 degree. The time difference between two consecutive meridians is 4 minutes. The 180-degree longitudes is also called the international date line. The moment you cross the east of it, you gain or add a day. And if you cross the west of it, you lose or subtract a day. New words. Parallels. Complete circles parallel to the equator and between the North Pole and the South Pole. Meridians. Semicircles joining the North Pole with the South Pole. Equator. Longest parallel which divides the Earth into two equal parts. Grid. Network of parallels and meridians on the globe or on the map. Prime meridian. Meridian passing through Greenwich and marked as 0 degree. Recap. The Earth does not have a top, a bottom or a side that we can use as the starting point. The end points on the axis can be used as starting points on the Earth or on the globe. The line that divides the Earth into two parts, northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere, is called the equator. Circles drawn parallel to the equator in both hemispheres are called the parallels or the lines of latitudes. The semicircular lines joining the North Pole and South Pole are called the meridians or the lines of longitude. Latitude is the angular distance north or south of the equator. Longitude is the angular distance east or west of the prime meridian. The parallels and the meridians intersect at right angles. The network of the parallels and the meridians on the globe is called the grid or the graticule.